Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We are entering Act 3, and as we are now finished with Dresden, we have access to some of the companions who didn't get to come with us. And with these companions, we can now level them up. Quite a lot actually. I believe we've got 2 levels and a mythic level for all of them. So quite a lot of leveling up to do and quite a lot of equipment giving to do. Starting with Sosiel. Now Sosiel is the glaive that we got off of Staunton, and it's very good. It's an enhancement +3, it's adamantine, and when it kills things, it summons a demon which you then buff with subsequent kills. So it's a very cool thing, and Sosiel can use it, even though it can't be used by lawful good, because he isn't lawful good, he's neutral good, which is very nice for us. Now, the thing I wanted to say about Sosiel is right now, he is fulfilling the exact same role in our party as Darren. There is no differentiation between Sosiel and Darren. They are pretty much identical except one uses a crossbow and one uses a glaive, right? They're both just going to be healers, they're both just going to be buffers. There's not really a lot that we can do with Sosiel that we couldn't do with Darren and vice versa, except I think that Darren is currently doing the job a little bit better. So what I want to do with Sosiel while we level him up is think, how can we make Sosiel different than Darren? Because right now, there's no reason to bring him along at all unless it's his companion quest. And yeah, I don't want that to be the case. I want there to be a good reason for us to bring along all of our companions at any time. And then it makes some more interesting choices. So, Sosiel. What's the obvious path that I see for him here? I think what we should do is we should make him more of a damage dealer in how we use him. Because right now, he has an amazing weapon, right? This weapon is actually very good. So if we can make him use that effectively, then that's going to be great for us. And I think we've got some good opportunities because we're giving him the enduring spells. Now, the enduring spells is what Darren has, which allows us to buff the entire party. But there are a lot of cleric spells that are self-buffs, and they last for quite a long time, and with enduring spells would last 24 hours. So if we made Sosiel somebody who uses a lot of the self-buffs, while we gave Darren a lot more of the party buffs, there's a reason to bring them both along in the party at the same time, and it also gives us the option, because Sosiel is a cleric, to not bring Darren and then bring Sosiel as kind of a less good healer, but a much more powerful damage dealer. Because right now for Darren, damage dealing is pretty much summoning creatures and using the crossbow, neither of which are very good right now. So, that's the plan. With that in mind, let's start leveling up Sosiel. So he's going to stick with a cleric, because cleric gets him all the cleric spells and is kind of his thing. Next up, we have to choose the skills, low religion, perception, and persuasion. It's just what we've been leveling. Also, even more into the he's just like Darren, he even shares the persuasion skill with him, so it's like you're fighting over the same things. I'm seeing low religion. Yeah, at least Darren's not up in that right now, but yeah, it's like even if we were bringing them along for their skills, he wouldn't even be that good, because Darren even has bonuses on top of this to his persuasion as well right now. Right, feat. So what do we want to give him? Just thinking about it here. We could give him a teamwork feat. That could definitely be alright if we've got anybody that's got anything good. Outflank is a very nice one that we have a bunch of people with, and it would make him a good melee character. The other options that we have for him are Scribe Scrolls, because that's a very nice one for being able to get some Divine Scrolls, and he has a lot of spells to choose from, so if he's able to scribe them, that would work. History of Terrors. Racial bonus on saving throws to resist mind-affecting effects. It increases to +4 if the effect is also a fear effect. Interesting. I don't know if that's what we want, but it's not the worst one for him to pick up at some point, potentially. We could also go in here and get weapon focus with his glaive, and then allow him to get bonuses on his attack rolls with it, which can then get him, if we go into it, it would then... it's currently showing us feats. There we go. So if I find glaive here, you can then see it lets us get into things like penetrating strike, so we can get it to ignore 5 points of damage reduction. You get to shatter defenses so that you can make people flat-footed. You go into weapon specialization for bonuses on damage rolls. You can go into weapon focus on the mythic, which then allows you extra bonuses on your attack rolls. There's a lot of good stuff that we can potentially do going down that path. I think right now, though, I am going to stick with the outflank. I think outflank is going to be very nice. And the other thing that's quite nice about him with outflank is that a glaive is a weapon that has a longer reach, from my understanding. So it should mean that if he's standing in a mass of enemies, and we have some of these people with the teamwork feats around the place, even if he's not standing directly next to that target, he should still be within the same range in order to get the attack of opportunity. So I think that works quite well for us. Right, let's give him that. And then he gets a ton of new spells. But you see, we've got things like the Angelic Aspect here, which gives him resistance to acid, cold, and DR5 against evil, deflection bonus to AC, and +2 resistant bonus against saves against attacks made or effects created by evil creatures, and your natural weapons. Any weapons you wield are considered good aligned for the purposes of overcoming damage reduction. That buff could be 24 hours long, which is just a really nice thing to have. Would we use the buff if it was shorter? Maybe not, but just having it active 100% of the time is really nice. Oh, he also gets Raised Dead. It does use a diamond, but it's an interesting one for him to have there as well. See if he has anything else that lasts a long time. So yeah, we like this life bubble spell he has as well. Actually, would that would be a 24-hour spell with things that he's got. Serenity. It's not a buff. Has it got any other buffs in here? Genie Kind. That's rounds, so it's probably not going to work. He has some other ones. Spell resistance. Yeah, target gains spell resistance equal to 12 plus your caster level. Now that's one he can cast on other people, but still. Good stuff. Righteous Might. That was the other one. Well, that's round per level. But anyway, he's got a lot of stuff that could be good on the lower levels as well. I think he's got some stuff. We just need to work out what we need. Anyway, that's my plan with them. Next level, we just get some extra spell slots, which is okay. We can cope with that. We get some of this. Oh, it turns out his persuasion is exactly the same as Darren if they happen to be the same level. That's a real shocker. Right, and there we have him. Now, in his spellbook, let's see what we can take. So here, we're actually going to look for buffs that he can apply to himself as well. And this one isn't actually that useful because it's a minute buff. So let's get rid of that one for just now. Apply Fire Belly. Anything else seem good on level 1? Stunning Barrier? That goes away after it's been used once, right? Yeah, okay. Shield of Faith could be alright, but the problem is he only gets a limited number of spell slots. I think we can get rid of Bane now, though. We don't need more than 1 Bless. I might get rid of that as well. See, Fire Belly seems like a fine one. It's a personal spell. Any of the rest of them buffs? If not, we'll take Shield of Faith. But I think... Yeah, and I don't think any of the rest of them are actually things that are going to be that useful. Maybe Unbreakable. It's not a long enough buff. Okay. Give him Shields of Faith there. Right. At level 2, he has lesser restorations, which are good. And he also has all of these Bull Strength and Splendor ones. Very nice. I'm going to get rid of Protection from Alignment, because Protection from Alignment is only 1 minute long, and I want him to have other ones that are going to be good. Let's see, what's this? Protection from Evil Communal. Yeah, so that's fine. So we don't need Protection from Alignment as we already have it. That works even better. 1 minute per level. So we could actually get Aid applied to something permanently, which would be interesting. And Aid's a good one. +1 morale bonus on attack rolls and saves against fear effects, plus temporary hit points. Okay. Anything else good in terms of buffs here? I suppose it's these ones right here. The strength buffs. Yeah, strength and con. Maybe we'll give him a con buff and then charisma. I mean, that is what he uses for his cleric spells, I suppose. Effortless armor could be good as well. It's a personal spell for him. We'll take one of those. Up here, so he gets prayer. We probably don't need that. Magical vestment he doesn't need, but Archon's aura. Now that's more like what I'm talking about. So that gives him, when anything comes within 20 feet of him, they must succeed at a will save. If the creature fails, it must take a -2 penalty on attack rolls saving throws and to armor class for the duration of the spell, or until it successfully hits you with an attack. I think that's a cool spell to have, especially if it's 24 hours long. The rest of these don't actually appear to be that long of a buff. In fact, none of them appear to have any kind of buff. Oh, delay poison communal actually, that's a buff. That's an hour-long buff, which we can apply to everything. And then I think every one Searing Light seems like it would be okay. Yeah, just one Searing Light to give us a way of hitting enemies that are more difficult to hit. At this level, let's get rid of the Holy Smites that aren't that useful and the Cure Critical Wounds. Protection from Energy Communals, okay. Shield of Dawn, that's round per level. Anything else in here? Greater Magic Weapon. That's not going to be better than his weapon, so it's not going to be that useful, but we could apply it to other creatures. Death Ward is useful, actually. You know what? Death Ward and Crusader's Edge are both useful. Let's give him all Death Wards, and then we can maybe keep Darren with Crusader's Edge. Or we can always switch them around if we know we're going to take Sosiel. Now, 5th level, Angelic Aspect. Down here, Burst of Glory. Allies in the area of this spell at the time of casting gain a +1 sacred bonus on attack rolls and saves against fear effects, plus a 1 temporary hit point per caster level, or break a enchantment. Frees victims from enchantments, transmutations, and curses. That's kind of cool. I think we can remove some of that with our ability, but it's still cool. Oh, sorry, Burst of Glory is going in the domain slot. Yes, because we can only choose one of those two. Disrupting Weapon, 1 round per level. Anything else, 1 round per level? If not... actually, that's an hour, so we can take that one. That's good. Anything else? Righteous Might, round per level, round per level. Raise Dead would be good if we actually had any diamonds on us. Spell Resistance? I guess Spell Resistance is the next one to take. There we go. So we got a bunch of buffs now on him. I think he's a much better setup than he was. And now it's time to have a look at his mythic path. Let's level him up. Now, for him is a very obvious next mythic path. We take greater enduring spells, because that was basically what allows him to set up everything that we've just set up. And perfect. Sosiel is now a potentially good member of the squad. Now, we still have items to hand out, but I think that's a good start. Next up is Nenio. Now, Nenio is basically just our generic spellcaster. She applies buffs, and she does damage. I think that's it. Like, haste is really the only buff I suppose she applies that we care about too much, but yeah, she's kind of a damage dealer with spells, I guess, is how we're using her. I think that's fine. I don't think we need to worry too much about it. Let's level her up. So, we're going to go another point in here. Now, the one that we could switch her to, that was suggested, is we could maybe have a look at Arcane Trickster for her to do extra damage. Because she can potentially do some damage with, like, the sneak attack and the Arcane Spellcast. Where is it? I think it might just be the sneak attack that does it. Is it surprise spells, maybe? Yeah, you can add your sneak attack damage to any spell that deals damage if the targets are flat-footed. This additional damage only applies to spells that that deal hit point damage, and the additional damage is of the same type as the spell. If the spell allows saving throws to negate or half the damage, it also negate or halves the sneak attack damage, which is a very nice thing for her to potentially get. Now, to get it, we need Trickery, Mobility, and 2 levels of sneak attack. So we would actually have had to have multi-classed her already to get it, I think, if we want her to get to level 10 in it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave her as this, and then maybe look at Lore Master, is the other one that was suggested. Now, to get Lore Master, we would have to have one of the meta magic ones, and that is something that we can definitely work towards. So, what we should maybe do is think about taking meta magic at this level. That's what I was getting at. Skills. We'll level all them up, and then Lore Nature I think is the one that we've been leveling up as our extra. Yeah, although we don't necessarily need it, but it's okay. Feats. Because we need to take a meta magic, let's choose one of these and see what we can go for. So ones that are quite nice are things like Quickened. Even though they use a spell slot 4 levels higher than your spell's actual level, it allows you to do an extra spell as a quick action. So you can be like, hey, I'm going to haste and then I can still chuck a fireball. Things like that are quite useful. Selective spell is also very nice. It's only one spell slot higher, and it means that you can choose a number of targets in the area equal to the ability score modifier to determine bonus spells at the same type. Wait, that's wrong. I'm reading the wrong bit. I was just reading out loud, apparently. Whenever casting a selective spell... Let me try this again. Your allies need not fear friendly fire. When casting a selective spell with an area of effect and duration of instantaneous, you can choose a number of targets in the area equal to the ability score modifier used to determine bonus spells of the same type. These targets are excluded from the effects of your spell. Yes, I was right. I was reading the right section, but I was in the... but I didn't realize that it carried on afterwards. So yeah, so right now she could choose... What's her modifier? It's intelligence, so she can choose like 4 people not to hit with a spell. That sounds like it could be pretty useful. Like if we get fireball, we can chuck it on the middle of all of our melee units and not hit any of them. That seems good. Yeah, I'm going to take a selective spell. And then we can have a look at other stuff. Now what's also interesting is that with some of these level 5 AoE spells, now that we have selective spell, when we hit the ability to cast level 6 spells, some of these ones we could choose not to hit our allies, which is kind of cool. Anyway, let's see what we got. Phantasmal Web. This one's been used against us. You implant within the minds of your targets the illusion that they are engulfed in tangled webs teeming with swarms of tiny spiders. Those who fail to disbelieve the Phantasmal Web are treated as if in a web spell, but must also make a fortitude save each round, after that or become nauseated for that round by the phantasmal spiders. Freedom of movement allows unobstructed movement but does not negate the nausea effects. That's really cool actually, I think that one would work quite well. What's the other one? Shadow Evocation. You tap energy from the plane of shadow to cast quasi-real, illusory version of Fireball, Lightning Bolt, Shout, Volcanic Storm, or Ice Storm spells. Spells that deal damage have normal effects unless an affected creature succeeds at a will save. Each disbelieving creature only takes 1/5 damage from the attack. Regardless of the result of the save to disbelieve, an affected creature is also allowed any save or spell resistance that the spell being simulated allows, but the save DC is set according to Shadow Evocation's level 5th rather than the spell's normal level. That's really good. I think we take both of these. I don't think we really need to look too much into it. Look at what the other options are. No, I think I'm quite happy with those two actually. Yeah, she's good at illusion spells. These are both really good illusion spells. Let's take it. Right. And that's Nenio got level 9. Now at level 10, she gets Scroll Mastery. At 10th level, the Scroll Savant can use her own caster level instead of the item's caster level when using a scroll. Sounds great to me. We get these ones up. And then I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine in terms of what we've leveled up there. Yes, right. Next level. And we get to choose 2 more spells. This one just says Evocation, all creatures along a 50-foot line fire. I'm probably not going to take that one. I'm just going to say I don't entirely know what it does. Acidic Spray. A spray of acid erupts from your outstretched hand, dealing 1d6 points of acid damage per caster level, maximum 15d6, to each creature within the area. This acid continues to burn for 1 round. At the end of the round, every creature that fails their saving throw against the spell must succeed on another reflex save, or take 1d6 of acid damage per 2 caster levels, max 7d6. That's a very cool one. What else have we got in here? So we have Animal Growth. The target animal grows to twice its normal size and 8 times its normal weight. This alteration changes the character's size category to the next largest, grants it a +8 size bonus to strength and a +4 size bonus to con. Thus an extra 2 hit points per hit dice. Oops, sorry, I moved off there. And imposes a -2 size penalty to dexterity. The creature's existing natural armor bonus to AC increases by 2. The size change also affects the animal's modifier to AC attack rolls and base damage. The animal's base and reach change as appropriate to the new size, but its speed does not change. Multiple magical effects that increase size do not stack. It seems like it might be a useful one to maybe give to our horse. Yeah, maybe a little horse buffing seems good. You can change a target into a dog. That seems not really that Well, it seems like it won't work against things that are useful. You become a bear. Not really Nenio's thing. Cloud kill. It works off hit dice, so I don't really like it. Cone of Cold is a Cone of Cold. It deals 1d6 points of cold damage to enemies within a cone. I really like that, as it's quite simple. I like things that are just like, it does this, and it's very straightforward. This spell functions like Hold Monster, except that target's constricted as if by the cause of a large snake, taking 1d6 plus 6 points of bludgeoning damage each round that it failed its save. Okay, interesting. Dominate person, you make any humanoid fight on your side as if it was your ally. Okay. Anything that's like will negates, I'm less into, because mostly I want to use spells against difficult fights, and difficult fights this doesn't really work as often. You can receive the world by creating high-pitched noises and listening to their echoes. This gives you blind sight to a range of 40 feet. Okay, sure. Elemental body. We can assume the form of an air elemental. Nah. Feeble-minded creatures' intelligence and charisma scores each drop to 1. The affected creature is unable to use intelligence or charisma-based skills or to cast spells. Still, it knows who its friends are and can follow them and even protect them. The subject remains in this state until a heal or break enchantment spell is used to cancel the effect of feeble-minded. A creature that can cast arcane spells such as a sorcerer or wizard takes a -4 penalty on its saving throw. Interesting. Again, it's will negates though. Fire Snake is what I assume the one at the top is, which is the 50-foot line of fire. Hold Monster. Don't really want that. That's fine. Hungry Pit. You create an extra dimensional hole with a depth of 10 feet per 2 caster level. Things will fall into it, and then they can take damage, by the looks of it. Yes. I don't think we need that. Icy Prison. You trap the target in solid ice. If the creature fails its save, it is paralyzed. If the target makes its save, it gains the entangled condition but can otherwise act normally. Whether or not the target saves, it takes 1 point of cold damage per caster level each round it is paralyzed or entangled in the ice. A creature can break the ice with a successful strength check each round after receiving the effect. DC 15 plus your caster level. Now that one sounds quite useful, especially against like a caster. Basically, you cast it on this and then they can't get out because their strength is terrible. And it always applies even if they save it. That sounds like it could be useful. Mind Fog. Creatures in the Mind Fog take a -10 penalty to wisdom checks and will saves. A creature that successfully saves against the fog is not affected. Okay. Polymorph. Transforms an allied creature into a leopard or a small elemental. Okay. Don't really think we need it. Summon large elemental, not needed. Thought Sense. You automatically detect and locate conscious creatures within 60 feet as if you possessed the blind sight ability. That's intriguing, but I don't think good for what we're looking for. I mean, it's probably fine, but I think Icy Prison sounds good. Let's go with that. She's all leveled up. Nice. Now we need to choose some spells for her. Although we do actually have our Mythic thing as well. Let's do Mythic first. Now, she has abundant spell casting and spell penetration, so she can actually hit enemies. And she has a lot of spells at early levels to cast. What other stuff have we got here for her? We could go down the Enduring Spells route for her, but she doesn't actually have any spells that last long enough to make greater Enduring Spells worth it, as far as I'm aware. Because spells have to last 5 minutes. Now, if we have a look at what she has, what we've given her, does she actually have too much that would apply there? She has Stone Skin, which is uses a resource and is a class that she's not good with. She has Haste, which it would not apply to. She has Blur, which she could apply to herself. And Mirror Image, I suppose, as well, she could apply to herself, although that one will naturally run out. She also has these 3 buffs. But yeah, she's not got a ton. And she's got Enlarge and Reduce Person. I think that she would be much better off not going down the Enduring Spells route, at least right now. Unless there's something that changes it to be applied to even more spells, but I don't think there is. Right, what else have we got for her? Now that we're not taking that one. Elemental Barrage is interesting. So every time you deal energy damage to a creature, you apply a mark, and in the next round you can consume the mark. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Anything else in here? Battle meditation. It's a standard action. You can enter battle meditation while in this state you're unable to move, lose your dexterity bonus, and then all allies in a 30-foot radius gain a morale bonus to attack and damage rolls and saving throws against fear equal to 1+1 per 3 mythic levels. I don't think that's particularly amazing. Yeah, I'm seeing what other stuff we've got here. Hits with ranged weapon, improved abundant casting. Just give her even more spells. You know what? Just give her even more spells. I really just want Nenio to be able to cast spells. And that, I think, gives her that ability. Yeah, let me look how many spells she gets right now. Give her another Burning Arc. Just add it into the pile of things that she's using. Although maybe I should give her an Acid Arrow just to spread things out a little bit. There we go. Nothing there. Right, here she got more spells available. Let's go Obsidian Flow. Shout. Phantasmal Killer. Maybe another couple of shouts in there as well. That all seems good. At 5th level, we can give her either Phantasmal Web or Shadow Evocation as her favourite school one. It really doesn't matter because I'm going to give her multiple of each anyway. Shadow Evocation, we'll get a couple of those in there. In fact, we should get more because that can be multiple spells. Animal Growth and then Icy Prison. All of that seems good for her. Right, that's Nenio all set up. Next up, we have Ember. Now, what is Ember's purpose in our party? That's a difficult one to remember. It's been a while since we used her. Is her I think I want her purpose to be like fire damage and putting on crowd control effects onto enemies. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do with her. So let's see what we can do to make that a reality. Leave her as a witch. Seems good to me. Persuasion, use magic device. We doing lore religion on her? I think we might be doing lore religion. Because lore arcana is not really worthwhile doing. Yeah, let's do that. Feat. It's not worthwhile doing, not because it's not worthwhile, but because we already have it. She's never going to actually roll it. For her, I don't know what we want as a feat. We could give her a meta magic, I suppose. Well, that's not really what I'm looking for. Does she have the spell penetration? She appears to have that. We give her a bonus on all knowledge and lore skill checks. It's not particularly good for her right now. Arcane Focus. Elves with this racial trait gain a +2 racial bonus on concentration checks made to cast spells defensively, and a +1 on caster level checks to overcome spell resistance. Yeah, more things to overcome spell resistance sounds great. We really, it's kind of the same as Nenio. We want spells, we want a lot of them, and we want them to be able to hit. So let's take that. Right. If we want her to be able to crowd control enemies, then we're looking at things like Hold Person, Web. Those are quite good. What's Scare? That's a hit dice based one. Let's maybe take a Web. Give her the ability to put that down. Oh wait, what's Fester? Necrotic energy permeates a target, blocking healing abilities. The subject gains spell resistance equal to 12 plus your caster level against effects that restore hit points or gain temporary hit points. If the target succeeds on a fortitude saving throw, Fester only lasts a single round. Okay. It's definitely alright. I might go with, I think I'm going to go with Web. So that was a level 2 one I just took there. Okay, level 3. What have we got? Deep Slumber is hit dice, right? Yeah, it's hit dice. Anything that's hit dice, I'm just completely uninterested in. It's not really what I'm looking for. Ray of Exhaustion. You must succeed on a ranged touch attack. The subject is immediately exhausted for the spell's duration. Successful fortitude save means the creature is only fatigued. A creature that is already fatigued also becomes exhausted. That sounds nice. That seems like a good one for us. And then it's our level 4 spells. So Cape of Wasps it gives you partial concealment against ranged attacks. And anyone that takes a melee attack against you takes damage back. Confusion confuses the target, makes them unable to determine their actions. Will negates it. Okay. Anything that's will negates I kind of hate, but at least this one's AoE, which is kind of nice. What's this? Innervation. It's a ranged touch attack. If you hit, the subject gains 1d4 temporary negative levels, and they stack. And any undead creature struck by the ray gains 1d4 times by 5 temporary hit points. Okay, I mean that's quite nice. Again, it's something that fits what I was looking for. Touch of Slime. Whenever you make a successful melee, not interested. Anything that's melee as well is not that good. Crushing Despair. An invisible cone of despair causes great sadness in the subjects. Each affected creature takes a -2 penalty on attack rolls, saving throws, ability checks, skill checks, and weapon damage rolls. Crushing Despair dispels good hope. So Will Negates again. I do like this one because thematically it's cool, because she's all about, you know, oh, I just want everyone to be happy. And then we're like, no, we're causing despair. Yeah, let's go with that. Also fits my headcanon that she's evil. So that works for me. Anything that means I don't have to re-examine what I think of a character. Level 10, she's going to keep being a witch. Let's get more of these. Fantastic. Now, does she get anything? Oh, she's got something called Major Hexes now? Yeah, starting at 10th level, and every 2 levels thereafter we can choose a Major Hex when she selects a new hex. So what have we got here? Agony. With a quick incantation, a witch can place this hex on one creature within 60 feet, causing them to suffer intense pain. The target is nauseated for rounds equal to the witch's level. A fortitude save negates this effect. If the saving throw is failed, the target can attempt a new save every round to end the effect. Okay, that's cool. Animal skin. We can morph into an animal. Probably not. Beast gift. We can use our magic to grant our allies ferocious animal abilities. The witch can partially transform a willing ally, granting him natural attacks for a number of minutes equal to the witch's level. Choose one. The creature gains 1 bite attack that deals 1d8 points of damage, or the creature gains 2 claw attacks that deal 1d4 points of damage each. Interesting. I wouldn't necessarily go with it. The target of this hex becomes shaken for a number of rounds equal to 3 plus the witch's intelligence modifier. As long as the witch remains within 30 feet of her target, she gains a +1 morale bonus on attack rolls and morale bonus on saving throws against this creature. No. Major hexes. Hoarfrost. The target is rimmed with a shell of frost needles that slowly work their way into its flesh. Fortitude negates. The target turns pale and blue and takes 1 point of con damage per minute until it dies, saves once per minute, or is cured. Okay, that's cool. And also the fact that it says that it's once per minute you get your save. Oh, but it is also per minute that you get the con damage. But it's on them for a while is what I was getting at. Major ameliorating. The witch can touch a creature to suppress and protect it from negative conditions. The witch chooses one of the following conditions each time she uses this hex: blinded, cursed, diseased, or poisoned. The target is inflicted with the chosen condition. The condition is suppressed for a number of minutes equal to the witch's level. Okay. I mean, that's cool. Major healing. Acts like it's cure serious wounds. Regenerative sinew. Which causes the debilitating wounds of a creature she touches to quickly close, helping it heal rapidly. The target gains fast healing 5 for a number of rounds equal to half the witch's class level, or it heals up to 4 points of ability score damage from every 2 ability scores. Or from 2 ability scores. Once a creature has benefited from this hex, it cannot benefit again for 24 hours. That's very nice, actually. Restless Slumber. So this is the upgrade to Slumber. The witch causes creatures within 30 feet to fall into a sleep riddled with nightmares. This functions as the Slumber hex. Additionally, the restless nature of the sleep causes the creature to violently toss and turn, dealing 1d10 points of damage to itself each turn. This damage does not wake the creature. When it wakes, the creature's adult state causes it to become confused for a number of rounds equal to half the witch's level. Okay. Is one creature within 30 feet. It's not affected by hit dice. And it's just a check on it. That seems really cool. Yeah. That seems pretty good. It's an upgrade to Slumber. Let's take it. Right. Next up, we're all about applying debuffs to enemies. So, Baleful Polymorph could be good. What about Racking Ray? Range touch attack. Creature hit by this spell is racked by painful spasms as its muscles and sinews wither and twist. Takes 1d4 points of dexterity and strength damage per 3 caster levels you possess, which would be like 3. So it's 3d4, maximum 5d4. The spell cannot reduce an ability score below 1. That's really nice. It halves the damage as well. It doesn't reduce it with the saving throw. That's really nice actually, because it only halves. We can make creatures within a 30-foot cone fatigued. Okay, that's quite nice as well. It's just spell resistance actually on that one. It's not even like they don't get a save. I think I might take Racking Ray though. I think that sounds like it could be really useful, potentially. Right, and now we have to choose her mythic path. Now, right now we have Abundant Casting, and we have Pranked. So Pranked is the one that gives her, it gives her different spells. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's choose what mythic thing we're going for now. So on this one, what do we want her to have? Does she have the... what's Wandering Hex? Let's you select any witch hex and grant you the ability to use the selected hex. Oh, right, it means that we can choose any at any time. Okay. Not necessarily what I want, but it's still interesting. Improved Abundant Casting is really nice to give her more spells. It's just another nice one there. I think I might take that. Yeah, I might take the Abundant Casting on her again. It's similar to Nenio. I just want her to be able to use her spells, because I think it works. Like, I think the character works a lot better when we have spells to use, and when we don't feel like we have to save them a little bit. Cool. Right. And last up, we have Lann. Now, for Lann, he's fairly straightforward. We want him to shoot things, and we want the things he shoots to die. That's pretty much it for Lann. He's not really got anything special. No spells for us to worry about. So, let's level him up. So we're going to go for Zen Archer level 10. This gives him a bonus feat to use, and it gives him lawful attacks. So our unarmed attacks, which I believe will apply to our bow, I'm not 100% sure. It should be treated as lawful weapons for the purposes of overcoming damage reduction, which is nice. Right, we're then going to level up these two. Plus 1 in mobility, I think, is our backup. Yeah, 1 in mobility. And then we get a Zen Archer bonus feat, of which it thinks they're all terrible. Why is improved critical terrible? Why would I improve... oh, because I already have it? Yes, because I already have it. That's why it thinks it's terrible. Okay. Why is many shot bad? When making a full attack with your bow, the first attack fires 2 arrows. I think it's because it doesn't work. I think that, from memory, I think that's why that one doesn't actually do anything. We're going to have some trouble if I don't start getting some more feats that I can choose. Oh, at 10th level we get more... wait, at 10th level the following feats are added to the list. Oh, Clustered Shot, and what did I take previous levels? You got Point Blank, you got Precise. I've already taken Clustered Shot and Improved Critical separately. Oh. It's almost getting to the point where we need to switch Lann because he's not going to get any benefit from these bonus feats here. Interesting. Yeah, because he's not going to get any benefit from these feats because at 10th level he got 2 that we already have. What does he get at later levels? Nothing. Okay. Well, it's not great. Yeah, that's really just not going to be that good. So these are just going to be straight up bad for him, probably. What's this? Perfect Self. Game's damage reduction. It allows him to ignore... well, let's see. Yeah, so that's not really that good, that useful for him, because he shouldn't be being hit. Key powers aren't useful. Adamantine is useful, but it's kind of the only thing he's getting at 16. Okay, we might actually want to pivot from this after this level. What else does he get for being monk? He gets the unarmed strike bonuses where it goes up, which I believe might apply to his weapon somehow. Where are we? AC bonuses. There we go. So he gets this. So in addition, a monk gains an additional 1 bonus to AC and CMD at the 4th level. This increases by 1 for every 4 level the monk has thereafter, which is kind of cool. Trying to see, Flurry of Blows, that's fine, it doesn't do anything else. Just seeing what else he has in here. Nothing else there, fast movement doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that actually, yeah, he's not got a lot of reason to stay here. Unless this unarmed strike somehow applies to his weapon. Which I don't think it does, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does apply to his weapon. I'm not sure it does. Unless it's somewhere hidden. So what I'm thinking is we take this, and then next level we have to look for a new thing for him to take as a Zen Archer. Maybe we switch to something, like even if we just go boring and just switch him to Fighter, or maybe into something that gives him Sneak Attack. I think both of those would be pretty good, but right now it seems like we've hit the edge of what he can really, of like the benefits we're getting here. Let's get him combat mobility as well. Yeah, let's get him combat mobility. That one seems fine. +4 dodge bonus to armor class against attacks of opportunity made when you move out of or within a threatened area. Although it's not that useful. Deflect arrows though isn't useful at all. Improved critical he can't use. Rapid shot doesn't work. Many shot I believe doesn't work. So yeah, I guess combat mobility is by default the best thing he could possibly take. Which means he's getting Key Strike, which makes him a lawful unarmed attacks are treated as lawful weapons for purposes of overcoming damage reduction. And he gets combat mobility. So really what I'm saying is this entire level up, he gets the Key Strike bonus. Is that really good enough? I don't know if that is good enough for you, Lann, actually. I think we can do better. I think we might want to pivot right now. Let's have a look. Let's just, for an idea, have a look and figure out what we can get. Was this the one I was looking for? Key arrows. Oh wait, yeah, there we go. At 5th level, a Zen Archer always deals his unarmed damage with arrows from his bows. For example, medium Zen Archer's short bow normally deals 1d6, but using his abilities, arrows deal 1d8. Yes, that's the one I was looking for. Okay, so key arrows. So if we look here, so if the monk is medium, then what level are we right now? So it's 1d10 at levels 8 to 11, 2d6 at levels 12 to 15. So we'd be losing that increase in damage. So whatever we have to take has to be more useful than that increase in damage as well per level. Because right now, how much is that increasing? So going up to 2d6, you go from 1 to 10 damage. Instead, you would go to 2 to 12 damage. That's actually not that much. That's like a 1 to 2 damage increase, which of course can be multiplied by other things, but actually that's not that bad. We could probably get that somewhere else. In fact, even something like Sneak Attack would be able to apply. Like Sneak Attack does 1 to 6 extra damage. So if we were to make him a rogue, he would have all of that anyway, which is fine. Okay, let's see what our options are for him. Is there anything we can multi-class him into? I know I always look, but it's worth just having a look in here again to see if we've got anything. Student of War? Maybe? Let's have a look. So, know your enemy. As a move action, we can study a foe, attempt a knowledge check. Success grants a +1 insight bonus against the enemy, which cannot be applied. So knowledge checks aren't really your best thing, but in one skill as a class skill. Oh, okay. It's not really what we're looking for him. Duelist? Weapon finesse and combat mobility, we could make him a duelist, but that's more for a melee, isn't it? It's all about melee strikes. Yeah, so not really his thing. Hell Knight's not really his thing either. Stalwart Defender we could get if we had toughness, which would give him AC and a defensive stance. Yeah, not really his thing. He's lawful neutral, so can't be a paladin. He can't be an assassin. Can't be an arcane trickster, not that we would want him to be. Yeah, so none of those are going to be him. We could potentially put him into something like Rogue. Is there a Rogue subclass that works well for him? He's not a half-elf, so he can't get Master of All. We probably don't need Trap. Let's see what you get. So Trap Finding, half your level on Perception. Is Perception one of his skills? It is. Okay, so that one's okay. We don't need Weapon Finesse because it doesn't matter. Rogue Proficiencies and Sneak Attack. So are there any of these without Weapon Finesse? Yeah, Rowdy is without Weapon Finesse. Okay. Eldritch Scoundrel. Nope, that is Weapon Finesse. Weapon Finesse, Rowdy. Okay. So again, Vital Strikes. That's all about melee stuff, so we don't actually care about that. Yeah, so none of the rest remove it. We get Frightening instead, which is a Persuasion bonus, but that's not really that necessary. I don't think Rogue's the way to go, unsurprisingly. We go Alchemist. Now, if we went something like Vivisectionist, we remove the bomb, which we don't need. We gain Sneak Attack. We gain the ability to use mutagens, which can buff your physical abilities. So we could buff Strength in order to then allow us, which applies a penalty to Intelligence, which doesn't matter, which would then allow us extra damage. Yeah, that would then allow us extra damage, which is nice. Throw Anything. Doesn't really matter, it's an intelligence-based thing. We could then get Medical Discoveries. It's all about intelligence modifiers though for this, so I guess you wouldn't want to put too many points into here. Yeah, intelligence is kind of our main problem for Alchemist, because we don't really think that that's his path. Fighter could be good. Like, default Fighter just gets you bonus feats and fighter feats, but he already kind of has all of the ones he needs. Mutagen Warrior. What's this one give him? It's just more feats, basically. And then he gets mutagens later on. Which, at least, the positive about these mutagens is it's not worrying about anything with his intelligence, and you still get the mutagen. You don't get armor training. You get weapon training. Whenever you attack with a weapon from this group, you gain a +1 bonus in attack and damage rolls. There's cool things here, but the problem is, again, I think that we already have all the feats we need. Hunter. Wandering Marksman. We could get himself an animal companion. I mean, that's interesting. And give himself an animal aspect. Unlike with the Hunter herself, there is no duration on the animal aspect applied to her animal companion. Ah, okay, so you can basically apply a buff to the animal companion. And you can take the aspect, on the aspect of an animal as a swift action, you gain the same benefits as the current animal companion focus. The Hunter can use his ability a number of times per day equal to her level. Durations do not need to be consecutive, but must be spent in 1 minute increments. Interesting. What about other stuff here? Animal companion removed. Animal companion added. It must change what animals you can get, I would assume. I assume that's what it's doing here. Yeah. But we could get one of these potentially. We could go Divine Hound and start getting new judgments. And then have multiple people with judgments I can forget to use. Scapegoat. A colluding scoundrel is adept at redirecting a foe's hostility toward another creature. We can target one foe within 30 feet and designate one willing ally adjacent to that foe as a scapegoat. For the following minute, the target takes -2 penalty on attacks against any creature other than the designated scapegoat. And the target has a 10% spell failure chance on spells that don't target the scapegoat. And we could designate our animal companion. It's intriguing. I don't think a hunter is where we want to take him, but it's intriguing. Go Inquisitor. There's one that's it's a Sacred Huntmaster. I thought there was one that was about using ranged weapons, but I don't think that's actually the one I'm looking at. Get one that removes judgments and adds studied target. We can use the Slayer studied target feature. Uses Inquisitor level's effective Slayer level to determine the effects of studied target. We get a bunch of early level spells. Probably not what we're looking for. Not going to go Kineticist or Magus. Or Oracle. What about Slayer? I have seen Slayer a few times. So, what about something? What does it do as base? So, what is study target? Study an opponent you can see as a move action. The character takes a +1 bonus on weapon attack and damage rolls against it. The save DCs of character class abilities against the opponent increase by 1. If the character does sneak attack damage to a target, he studies that target, allowing him to apply a studied target bonus against that target, including the normal weapon damage roll. So, if a character does sneak attack damage to a target, you then study that target, which then allows you to apply your studied target bonuses against that target which has had sneak attack used against it. And at 7th level, you can use it as a swift action. Okay, interesting. What else do we get? So we get sneak attack at level 3, so we could trigger our own target hitting, which would then allow us to basically get bonuses if we hit a target, like say at the start of combat. That would be good. Slayer talents. As you gain experience, you learn a number of talents that aid him and confound his foes. Starting at 2nd level and 2 levels thereafter, Slayer gains 1 Slayer talent. You can take Rogue talents as Slayer talents, counting a Slayer level as Rogue level. After 2nd level, the Slayer can select a Ranger combat style, such as Archery or 2-weapon combat. Gains a combat feat from the feat list of that style. He can choose feats from a selected combat style, even if he does not have the normal prerequisites. At 6th level, he may select this talent again. Add the 6th level Ranger combat feats from his chosen style to the list. Okay. Some of this sounds quite good. I think Slayer sounds like it could be where we're going here. I think Slayer sounds really good. Okay, I know I've spent a while looking at it, but it still sounds intriguing. Now, is there a better Slayer than base Slayer for us? I don't think we want spell casting. That's not really what I want. I could remove the Slayer talents, which seems like an intriguing decision, at least at 2nd level. Instead, you get Determined Zeal. Strikes off any attempts by his moral opposite to control or kill him. On any round on which the deliver attacks an opponent whose alignment is at least 2 steps away from his own, he gains a +2 bonus on will saving throws. Not good, because yeah, it's not really what we're looking for. How about Executioner? So you just gain Focused Killer. Study target bonuses and DCs of saving throws against his Slayer abilities increased by 1 against humanoid opponents and decreased by 1 against non-humanoid opponents. You lose a Slayer talent at level 4 and get Painful Strike. A creature that takes sneak attack damage from an Executioner must make a Fortitude save, based on intelligence, or become sickened. Okay, so that's not really where we want to be going here. Then you get something like Assassinate later on. You can target studied opponents in an attempt to instantly kill them. Can only be used out of combat. The target must not see the Executioner. Interesting. Very interesting. Don't think that's what we're after. Spawn Slayer. Well, does this one actually change? It gives you these. Specialized in fighting against larger single targets. You gain bonuses on weapon attack rolls and damage rolls, and Slayer abilities against them get higher DCs. At 5th level, if the target is larger, these bonuses increase by additional 1. At 10th level, if the target is huge or larger, the bonuses increase by additional 2. Okay, interesting. And it alters study target, it says. Okay. We would only ever be able to make it to level 10, by the way, on any of these ones. So we'd only be able to make it to, like, to these advanced ones, but that's interesting. Stygian Slayer. So you get different proficiencies. Okay. Crawls out of the darkness, the darkest shadows to strike fear in the hearts of civilized folk. Merciless killer who can control a sliver of magic. So you lose the Slayer proficiencies, which we don't need. Gain that. Gain invisibility. And mist form. Okay, we probably don't need that, I would think. I think we're fine without that. And then Vanguard. So, you gain Vanguard. You lose a Slayer talent, but you gain Vanguard Tactician. You receive Teamwork feats as your bonus feat. You must meet the prerequisites for it. Once per day as a standard action, the Vanguard can grant one of his Teamwork feats to an ally within 30 feet. Or an ally within 30 feet you can see and hear him. They retain use of this bonus feat for 3 rounds plus 1 round for every 2 levels the Vanguard possesses. Okay. I don't think that's what we want to do. Another intelligence modifier one. I think plain old Slayer actually sounds really good for us. You get sneak attack, which sounds good. Sneak attack triggers your studied target, which is nice, so it gives you bonuses to hit. And it will be a +3 bonus at some point. You get Slayer talents, which you can move into other things. I think that this one could end up being very nice for us. Yeah, so it's that. I think it's that, or it's our Zen Archer. These are our two options, right? The problem with Zen Archer is, as we've said, we're not getting anything from the bonus feats anymore. Wait, why is it? That said adamantine for a second, didn't it? I'm sure that said adamantine, but we get that over there. I think I'm going to switch us into a partial Slayer. This might end up being a bad decision, but hey, it's a decision, and we've made it. Pure Slayer. If it's terrible, we can put 1 point in, or we can respec or whatever, but I think I'm happy with it. I think this is going to work well for us. So you get Studied Target as a new ability, and then you get Slayer proficiencies, which doesn't really matter, but he has them now. I guess that means technically he could use armor. Not that we would want him to, but he could. Right, now Mythic for Lann. Lann's Mythic, let's have a look here. Oh, he can now take Defensive Study because he has Studied Target. You found a way to use your perception and knowledge to better defend yourself. Your Studied Target ability gives you bonus AC against the target of your Studied Target ability equal to the bonus this ability gives you to attack rolls. Interesting, but not incredibly useful because, well, we don't really want to be in range for that to hit. So, it's fine. Could take Distracting Shots, which applies a penalty to AC, to melee attacks after you shoot them. Anything else? You don't automatically miss when you roll a 1. Could be interesting. Anything else he's got here? Ever Ready. Attacks of Opportunity. Probably not what we're looking for. The bigger they are, you get a bonus on your attack rolls with ranged weapons equal to the penalty to AC the target receives from their size. That's quite interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that one. I also like him not being hit by things, and I also like the stacking bonus if you miss an enemy. Ranging shots would actually work really well with the studied target thing with the sneak attack, because if we take this, right, once we hit something with a sneak attack, we then get studied target on it. So this would just give us more and more chance to hit as the fight goes on. I think this could work. I think ranging shot could work. This is kind of an odd build for him, I think, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Now, we've spent far too long going through all of the characters and leveling them up. I do apologize that we haven't really got to an awful lot this episode, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.